But Meta and UFC collaborating, in my opinion, is not all that bad of an idea. I mean, first off, the idea of having UFC broadcast integrated with Meta glasses and MetaQuest really intrigues me. There's no telling what they may end up creating, but when I think about the Meta glasses and MetaQuest and a UFC pay-per-view going on, I'm thinking like you could potentially end up popping up real-time stats in a very sleek and smooth presentation, some type of alert when significant strikes are landing. The WWE already has the ref cam, and I wouldn't be surprised if the UFC would integrate that and having that viewpoint. Imagine having that viewpoint on the MetaQuest. Now, I know not everybody has access to a MetaQuest, and I don't own one, but I would like to get one at some point, just for the technology. I'm a technology type of dude, but the immersion in the MetaQuest is alluring to me, and the data aggregation presented in like the Meta shades would be very intriguing to me as well. So I think both of it's a W when you're trying to up how you present this. You know what I mean? Because the product has to evolve on this level in one way or another. So why not roll the dice and take a shot on Meta? And obviously not everybody's going to want to put on a headset to watch some fights, but that's the point. It's just another way to do it or interact with it if you want. Imagine using the Meta shades or the MetaQuest if you're betting. These live odds being able to be displayed for you in the way that you want it, at the speed and cadence that you want it, along with real-time stats while you're not missing anything going on in the fight. I would imagine the partnership is going to integrate some kind of camera system to make the presentation for MetaQuest and the Meta glasses what it's capable of right now without these extra like type of virtual reality, augmented reality cameras. I'm sure all kinds of features are going to come up. Things like turning commentary on and off or changing the language. And these are things that like should be kind of obvious, right? But there isn't a lot of companies that are able to make this top notch. And Meta is one of those very few companies. Obviously, Zuckerberg's a super fan of MMA, training in jiu-jitsu, good friends with Dana at this point, and all the controversies and memes aside, it doesn't matter. These are the dudes rolling with the money, and this is what's gonna happen.
Outstanding.
I like the idea of things such as like a profile, a quick little bio of a fighter that you never heard of coming out on the prelims or something, and you're able to get some more information, or even in a little pop-up video, take highlights of his last fight while he's doing his walkout for the fight, he or she, you know? These are things that will be very, very cool, in my opinion. Little pop-up fun facts, commercial breaks are going to take a different route for those Meta users. You can bet your ass because you're going to be paying some kind of premium to enjoy all the features that the UFC is going to have added on top of its broadcast through Meta. And obviously the other thing, the 500-pound gorilla in the room that a lot of people have groans about and also think this is not the way to go, is AI ranking. Now, AI judging I feel completely different on, but AI rankings, I have a little bit of an open mind at this point. And the reason that I have an open mind is because I find myself every Tuesday scratching my head over at least one ranking position. But it's quite normally more than that. I can look at these rankings right now and give you 12 to 15 objections in fighter placements. Maybe AI will be able to organize these fighters in a better way. Unfortunately, this is not going to be about who's the most elite fighter, the most world destroyer, the best shit talk. It's going to be some kind of algorithmic formula that calculates all of that and then some. I have a very strong feeling that the Meta AI ranking system is going to take influence, popularity, amount of followers, who's trending, who's not. I think these factors will also very much be included into the rankings, along with some type of formula, which I'm not going to create right now because I don't have the time and I'm still under the weather, that takes a fighter's stats, all of, puts them together to equal out what their MMA overall score or percentage is out of 100, just say as an example. It's gonna be something like that. And then they're gonna combine it with who's popular, who's trending, who is good on the camera, who gets the most pop from clips and highlights, things like that. I mean, the AI is going to be able to take in factors for fighters that these ghost media people that have been doing it have never even thought, never even imagined like as a factor for a fight, right? And it'll make a lot more sense. I was saying a couple weeks ago, for example, I'll just use Mackenzie Dern, she's right here. She shouldn't be at 6. She should be at something like 3 or even 2. And why is that? For a number of reasons. Popularity would be one of them. Now, anyone who's been around this channel knows I have called out her entire career.
There's a lot of emotions today. I had a tough cut, and my opponent, kind of disrespected me in the sport, and I think the Brazilian fans. Perfect. So, there's a lot of emotion because I am emotional. I'm upset. I'm mad. I think everyone else should be. There's too many cheers for someone that misses weight by not a small portion, but a large portion.
And even better was that I was able to have like that balanced lifestyle that I like to have, was able to like enjoy my camp on the beach, with friends, like a lot of friends from Brazil that are down there, like, good people on the beach, like the lifestyle I like, to.
However, this is where she is at by virtue of what the UFC is wanting, right? The machine wants to push them, then that's what it's going to be. And this is a good point for me to say, ladies and gentlemen, the complaint era is over. Complaining about fighters, how they perform or what they say is one thing, but what the company decisions are doesn't really matter. Sean O'Malley said, don't watch if you have a problem with him getting a rematch. And that's because he understands that this is the direction this business is headed. If we're going to be using AI for rankings, you should be able to take that with clear understanding that what you think is no longer important. Just sit back and enjoy the show type of thing. You may agree with that, you may not, but that's what it's going to be. And these rankings are going to perhaps be chaotic, or it may be something that makes more sense. There will be a lot of groans about it, I'm sure. Like, oh, Sean Brady won't be #1 because he's not the most charismatic person on the planet or what have you, doesn't have the most followers on whatever social media. I agree with you, that sucks, but this ranking system isn't working. Let's figure something out. The UFC and Meta joining was inevitable. Personally, I'm not necessarily expecting it to be a bad thing. I have groaned about the rankings for so long. I'm happy to see what happens. And as far as on the immersion side, that's gonna be up to you. Are you a person that can buy all this expensive technology and enjoy it in these ways? All I really see it as for a person that's not interested in that type of stuff is other features you don't need to worry about, right? For people that are interested in that technology and want to experience this in a different way, I don't see anything wrong with it. Some people like to view AI under the lens of being evil or to ruin everything, and I don't necessarily feel the same way. I think the people, whoever it is, that decides the rankings every Tuesday are completely out to lunch on how it should work. Okay, let's dead the way that we are used to how we expect it to work, right? And try something new.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.